Hey, you're tuned in to another Fuzzireno video. There are so many farm sims and life sims coming out for 2022 and I am so excited to try them out. There's actually one that I've been playing quite a lot, but it is in early access called Core Keeper. It's an adventure game across between Terraria and Stardew Valley. And with a lot of updates coming out, there's been a lot of interest in it. If you're someone that's interested in Core Keeper, here are some similarities you'll find in Core Keeper if you're one that enjoys playing Stardew Valley. The first thing you'll encounter when it comes to Core Keeper, just like in Stardew Valley, is customization. You can customize your character just like in Stardew Valley, from their gender, hair color, and even their eye color. An addition to Core Keeper that Stardew Valley doesn't have is the selection to your character's background. You have a choice of explorer, miner, fighter, chef, gardener, fisherman, and nomad, and each title will have an additional benefit depending on your pick. If you enjoy cooking, you can choose the chef perk. If you like gardening, you can choose the gardening perk. But all of this doesn't really matter until you start leveling up in your skills. So leveling up works very similar like Stardew Valley. However, in Stardew Valley there are 5 skills you can work on, and in Core Keeper currently, as of today's video, there are 9 skills you can work on, with each skill actually having its own respective skill tree that you can work on. These skills include mining, running, melee combat, vitality, crafting, range combat, gardening, fishing, and cooking. Each of these are leveled up by doing their corresponding action, and at every 5th level of your skill you can actually use a point to work on your skill tree. If you're unhappy with any of your skill choices within a skill, you can reset it with 200 coins, just like in Stardew Valley, using the Center of Uncertainty to reset your skill. There are actually some interesting new skills that are in Core Keeper that you can't find in Stardew Valley, just like Vitality, which increases your maximum health and is worked on by killing enemies, or your running skill, which increases your base movement speed by simply running around the world. If you're someone that enjoys the farming in Stardew Valley, there's actually some farming you can do over in Core Keeper, but there is a bit of a difference. In Stardew Valley, for instance, there are 35 crops you can grow across your seasons. However, in Core Keeper, there are only 7 crops that you can grow, and that's as of this recording. Seeds in Stardew Valley are commonly bought from Pierre or randomly dropped in your playthrough, whereas in Core Keeper, the only way that you can get seeds is by drops by enemies, or more commonly, you can find wild plants all around your playthrough. Knocking these plants will give you a fruit and also a chance to give you a seed that you can replant. Using your hoe and watering can are obviously important in both games, but there's actually no fertilizers that you can use in Core Keeper, unlike in Stardew Valley. That could be because there's actually no seasons that impact your gameplay. You are underground, so seasons don't affect you. However, some of your crops in Core Keeper actually can only be grown in certain conditions, such as your carrots. The carrot seed can only be planted on stone floors. Every crop can be combined as well as with itself to be cooked into food using a cooking pot. Using a cooking pot in the game is actually quite important and will be used throughout your gameplay. Food is not only important for its health regen and stamina regen, but a lot of foods actually provide you with some really cool food buffs, some actually giving you 2, 3, even 4 food buffs when consumed. You kind of need to go out of your way in Stardew Valley to get yourself some recipes, such as watching the Queen of the Sauce on Sundays or obtaining them from Pelican Town residents. But in Core Keeper, every time you combine 2 new foods together, the recipe is actually saved in your cooking pot, so you can always go back and have a look at certain perks or fruit combinations to see what suits you best. Different wild plants can be found in different biomes within Core Keeper, which is our next point. There are 5 different biomes you can explore in Core Keeper. There's the dirt biome, the clay caves biome, the forgotten ruins, Azio's wilderness, and the mold biome. There is another biome that is in the works as of this recording called the sunken biome, which I'm definitely excited to try out and to share with you guys. Just like in Stardew Valley, different areas within your gameplay will offer you different things. However, the biomes in Core Keeper kind of work just like they do in Terraria. The dirt biome is the first biome that you start off in and will be the first that you should explore. Copper can be found here, which is highly useful in your gameplay, as well as crops just like mushrooms, heartberries, and bomb peppers, and also some enemies, including everyone's favorite over in Stardew Valley, the slime. Each biome can be distinguished by their color, their item drops, and also the enemies you can find within them. And each biome should only be explored when your character is ready to do so, because each biome will test your readiness and your patience. This is kind of like exploring Skull Cavern pretty early on in Stardew Valley. You should only do so when you're ready to do so. Hey, you've made it this far. Why not consider liking if you like the video, and why not subscribe if you want to see more videos? Some people might not miss this when it comes to Core Keeper, but there is a fishing aspect in Core Keeper, but I actually find it a bit easier than in Stardew Valley. The reason it's similar is it actually offers you a minigame just like in Stardew Valley when you're ready to catch a fish. You just gotta to throw your rod in just like in Stardew Valley, wait for the sinker to kind of bob around, and when you're ready to reel it in, a mini game will happen. Each fish in Core Keeper will actually have different patterns, just like in Stardew Valley. Different fishes can be found in different biomes, just like in Stardew Valley, how different areas will provide different fish. Fishes can also be used in your cooking pot recipes as well, which I would highly suggest, as some of these fishes actually provide some really good buffs when combined with the right plants or with other fishes. And obviously, when you go into the tougher biomes, you will find yourself some better fishes. Fighting is a big part of Core Keeper, which is kind of similar to Stardew Valley, but might actually be a bit better in a way. Your objective in Core Keeper is to find out what this weird eyeball looking statue thing is, which is where you start off when you first play the game. As you start to explore and start to venture out, you'll start to find enemies scattered everywhere, each enemy different from the next. Keep note of these enemies, as most enemies can only be found in certain biomes, which is just like how some monsters can only be found in Skull Cavern. Boss fights will occur in Core Keeper, and each boss will be difficult and more different than the next. The game won't tell you to do this, but I think it's self-explanatory that your base armor, weapons, and tools aren't going to be suitable for every boss that you find. There are technically 3 bosses to fight at the beginning, and not only will they provide you better items and better gear, but they'll start to unlock you better biomes that you can encounter. Just like in Stardew Valley, completing the community center or going to the end of the mines will start to unlock you some late game things. In Stardew Valley, workbenches and machines are quite important to be placing on your farm, just like workbenches, forges, and some other machines that you can place in Core Keeper. Save your resources to craft yourself a workbench, which you can do on yourself, which will start to unlock you some machines that you can start using. Surprisingly, all the machines and workbenches that you can craft in Core Keeper will actually be used throughout your gameplay, so there's no need to get rid of any of your machines. It's highly suggested that you keep at least one of everything. There are upgraded workbenches that you can craft at each workbench, each providing their own machines that are going to be useful throughout your gameplay. Ore is highly recommended for your gameplay in Core Keeper, just like in Stardew Valley. You can commonly find them as glitters in the wall when you knock down walls. Or later game, you can use a drill against an ore boulder that will produce you ore consistently. To those that are interested in Core Keeper, there's actually a late game setup you can do with your drills to consistently get yourself some ore without the use of your pickaxe. You can have a drill next to an ore boulder, have a conveyor belt transport your ore somewhere, and at the end of this place you can have a crane pick up that ore and place it in a chest for you to pick up later. There are different ways you can have fun when it comes to farming your ore in Core Keeper. This requires a lot of resources, however, which I think a lot of Stardew Valley players are very familiar with. In Stardew Valley, building a base really isn't a thing, but your farm and your farmhouse is where most of the magic is going to happen. This is the same when it comes to your base building in Core Keeper. Most players, when they build their base, they'll build it around this core statue that they first started off with. This is because the core statue is going to be important in your gameplay and also be the place that you return to every time you die in combat. You'll need to knock down the walls around here to start building your base. You can upgrade your place to house yourself some traders, to have yourself a little storage room as well as for your machines, and you can also updo your farming area to make it look a little fancier. You can alter the environment however you want. You can build or remove walls, you can build or remove any floors, as well as place some floor panels down so you can make your place look nice. You can even craft or even find yourself some rails in your gameplay. You can place these however you want to have yourself zooming to different areas. There are so many aspects of Core Keeper that remind me of Stardew Valley, and I can't wait for the next update, the Sunken Biome, which is hopefully coming out June of this year. I hope you've enjoyed your stay. Till next time, take care.